Hi everyone, welcome once again to the TrainAid HQ. My name is Nick, and in today's video we are looking at Unit C of the Level 3 AET course, and we're looking particularly at question 4.1 and 4.2. So 4.1 is to explain the need to keep records of assessment of learning. And 4.2 is summarize the requirements for keeping records of assessment in an organization. So this question is all about the importance of you as an assessor keeping accurate records. Okay, there's a number of reasons why we do this. The first is from a teacher point of view. The second is for the organization point of view. And we are going to investigate the needs of the teacher or trainer and also the organization. So 4.1, first of all, is simply to explain why it is important to keep records of assessment as a teacher or trainer. So we have got on the template some answers which you can select and expand upon. So we have to track learner course progress, to predict a learner grades, to be used as evidence, to provide feedback to managers and course leaders as well. So I've just picked out three here, which I'm going to investigate. So the first one is to track learner course progress. So by keeping records of assessment, we can provide learners with updates of their progress. So we can give them formative feedback, and this is going to promote reassurance that they're on the right track, that they're heading towards their summative assessments at good progression rates, and it gives them that sort of two-way process to give them feedback, and you can have discussions with your learners, and it's informing the learner whether they're achieving their desired goal or whether they need to make changes, so whether they need to make adaptations as well. So by keeping records of assessment, this is evidence for learners. You can give them evidence and they could analyze how they're progressing, but we can give them formative feedback. It gives them reassurance, it gives them clarity. It might give them a bit of a reality check if they're perhaps failing at the start of their course and they need to pull their socks up. So it gives the learner guidance on their course progress. If we gave the learner no assessment records, if we gave the learner no feedback, they could be in the dark. They could be thinking, you know what, I'm doing absolutely fine. It comes to their summative assessment and they could fail terribly, and that's going to be really poor from a course point of view. So we give feedback assessment data to learners to inform them of their course progression as well. Another key reason we keep accurate records of assessment from a teacher point of view is to predict learner grades. So you're working with both the learner and your organization, and this is very important because learners, they might have progression areas, they might be going on to another course or qualification, and we can help to predict grades early on, and we could advise the learner. We could say, you know what, you're going to potentially achieve an A grade here, you could go up to the next level. So you could give them direction, you could give them motivation, you could offer them perhaps as I mentioned again, you could say, have you considered this route after your course? So you can give them predicted grades with your assessment record. So you're saying this is what you achieved on the previous assessment, therefore you are going to likely achieve this grade, and then you could go on to this future course or even career path, or you could go for a promotion as well. So it's very important that we're giving accurate details. We're giving the learner their grades, we're giving their rough prediction. So learners are really anxious about perhaps what a grade they're going to achieve. We have to be a realist. We have to be realistic and say this is what you're going to potentially achieve based on your assessment results as well. So we're giving them advice, direction, motivation. So we're keeping the learner in the loop about their predicted grades as well. Another one is for evidence to provide feedback to managers and course leaders. So if there are any concerns about a learner, we can actually give completed assessment paperwork to the manager and say, you know what, I just graded their paper. I think this is a cause for concern. So it's actually evidence for a course leader or manager to perhaps take that and to approach the learner to investigate how they're progressing. If we didn't have accurate assessment paperwork, then there's nothing for the manager to use as like hard evidence. So it's very important that we are assessing learners regularly, that we are retaining, we're grading their paperwork, we're keeping that because it could be used as evidence. On the flip side, it could just be reassurance that the learner is achieving their desired qualification. So it's actually evidence that the learner is doing a really good job, and the actual manager themselves might say, could I please look at this learner's portfolio of evidence, and they might review it and say, wow, this is fantastic. And it gives the manager reassurance that you as a teacher or trainer, you're actually delivering a very good course, that the actual paperwork is being assessed and marked properly as well. So I think it's great for collaboration, it's great as evidence, it's great for confirmation that you as a teacher, you are doing your absolute best within your department as well. So I think evidence for managers or course leaders there. 4.2 is to summarize the requirements for for keeping records of assessment in an organization. So here are some of the key reasons why we keep accurate records from an organization standpoint. We have, of course, internal and external verification. We have the appeals procedure, complaints, and also inspections as well. So the first one I've written from my list is internal verification. So the IV process. So this is where you'll meet with a fellow team of trainers or teachers, and you will compare paperwork. So this is an opportunity for teachers to meet and to show their marking. And it's a really important experience, standardization meetings, so you can see how your colleagues are assessing. There may be some teachers who are quite critical with learner work, others are quite relaxed and laissez-faire as an assessor, and you can look at each other's feedback, you can discuss the grading criteria, and hopefully you can meet in the middle. So going forward, you as an assessor are very much working in partnership with your fellow team of trainers or assessors, and learners are receiving that sort of same level of feedback and service, and assessments are being conducted fairly as well. So internal verification is very important. It might happen, you might have a meeting, a standardization meeting once a month, and keeping accurate records is evidence, and you can, as mentioned, take paperwork to those meetings. Next one is external verification. So this is where the exam awarding body, whichever awarding body you use, annually, they will request a sample of learner work. So it could be 10 names that are drawn out of a hat from your classes of learners, and therefore you will need to give that paperwork in to the EV for them to write a report. So they'll look at paperwork, they'll look at how you've graded assessments, and therefore it's very important that we do mark all work accurately, fairly. We collect signatures and dates of learners, very important, of course. So we are supporting the EV. If we didn't have accurate learner work, or learner work's been lost, then that could be worrying for the EV, and therefore your centre could be investigated further. So if you want a smooth EV process, keep accurate records and ensure that all learner work is being marked fairly, accurately, and correctly as well. Final one I've got written down is appeals from my list. So appeals is where the learner will ask for an investigation just into their mark. And typically, an appeals window is 14 days. So after a learner has been given perhaps an observation report, or their test paper, they have like a 14-day window to digest the results. And if they're not happy, then they can put an appeals claim in. So that's why managers need to have accurate records of assessment. So this appeal typically is going to be investigated by a line manager or course leader. So they'll look at your marking, your feedback, and therefore it's very important that you've got accurate records, that your feedback to the learner is clear, it's valid, it's above board, it's following the assessment criteria. So keeping accurate records is very important from the organization standpoint as well. So to respond to any appeal or complaint there. So once again, just for this question, we're looking for 3 answers for 4.1. So this column here is 4.1. So I would like for you, if you do choose for these 3, maybe 2 to 3 lines on each one would be sufficient here. And 4.2 is the organization standpoint. So you can choose any of these 3 reasons, any 3 from the list there. So I've chosen internal verification, external verification, and appeal. So once again, just to expand on these 3, if you do include them. So again, 2 to 3 lines is sufficient here, because the key word is to summarize. Wonderful. So thank you very much for watching. That is video 4.1 and 4.2. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us. Once again, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And we hope to see you on one of our future courses. Bye for now.